morning, everyone, and very warm welcome to you all to the session number 2 of District 98 Public Relations Masterclass. My name is Distinguished Toastmaster Smita, and I am the Public Relations Manager for District 98. We started the Public Relations Masterclass for this particular year, that is 2021-22, with the focus to build awareness about all things related to public relations. You might be a VPPR, you might not be one, you might just be joining for something to help you understand the concepts of public relations better. And we hope that you are able to spend today's session learning something new and prepping yourself up in the field of public relations. We are extremely thrilled for today's session because we have Kristi Yablonski, who is joining us all the way from US. Kristi is the digital marketing specialist at Toastmasters International, and we are thrilled that today we have a chance to hear directly from someone from Toastmasters International, and hopefully your questions and your doubts and queries, everything will also get resolved in due course. With that, let me hand it over to Kristi, and I will pull up the slides in just one moment. Kristi, over to you.
Hi, everyone. While they go ahead and pull up the slides, I will go ahead and introduce myself. As we mentioned, Kristi from World Headquarters here in Denver, Colorado. I think right now we have people across the world on this call. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I've been with World Headquarters for almost 4 years. I've been a member of the World Headquarters Club for 3 years. I've held the role of a VP PR, treasurer, and for the last 9 months, I've been president. So being an employee is important to me, but being a member is just as important to me as an employee because I want to understand what our members experience. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the struggles, what we can learn for and what we can do together as a member and an employee. I love being part of these webinars to help you learn. I also want to include that so many members throughout the world know just as much or more than me as well. So together we can create the ultimate PR and marketing team. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over high-level tips of some of our favorites from World Headquarters. I'm going to go over our brand. I'm going to go over social media tips and some of the favorite platforms that we use here at World Headquarters, and just a little bit on digital advertising. Once that's over, we'll have some time for questions. I'll answer them the best I can. If I don't know the answer, I definitely know somebody at the World Headquarters team who I can refer you to. With that, I'm excited to go ahead and get started.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Kristi. And we are going to turn the chat option off just for the duration where Kristi is going to be presenting. And after that, we will allow your questions to pull in as well. You can type all your questions directly to me in the chat option if you have any. Let's get going.
Okay, perfect. We're going to jump right in on why our brand is important. As we all know, Toastmasters has been a lot around for so long, and we want people to understand why Toastmasters is important and why we're all here. The logo, the fonts, the colors, they're all such a vital part of our brand, but it is so much more than that. Our brand is how we interact with every single touch point it represents. When someone at World Headquarters picks up the phone to talk to a member, how you greet your guests at a club or a district event, how we structure convention, create products, discuss business opportunities, the brand is everywhere. The brand is there when you post on social media. The brand is there when you print a flyer. It represents who we are as Toastmasters and what we do. When we explain Toastmasters to friends and family, we mentor our members. When we disagree, we're everywhere. The words we use, the tone of our voice, and how we interact all together is our brand. Next slide, please. I want to go over a question we see all of the time at World Headquarters. It goes into the social media box, the brand box, the marketing box, even our membership department. It's as simple as, I would like to remove the logo. Okay, we know the guidelines, but can I find a way around the brand and not use the logo? I can do whatever I want, right? Without using the logo? No, please. First of all, as I just explained, the logo is so important. It what represents you and me connected together. Every material we use, we love to keep that logo. We still have to use the right colors, the right fonts, the right pictures and tone, regardless of the logo. Think about it. We have over 17,000 clubs around 147 countries. We have different languages and different cultures, different club styles. Our brand, our mission, and our purpose is what unites us. It's what makes us strong. It's what allows people from all around the world to recognize us. They know they're walking into a Toastmasters club, whether it's a corporate club, a community club, or an online club, because of the brand and because of the logo. That's why it is so cohesive that we represent a brand together to protect you and me and Toastmasters overall. If every single club removed the logo to create their own, to create a new brand, we would have over 17,000 logos. We want you to think about that. Let's have one strong logo instead of 17. Let's unite together. You can also tell members they can visit other clubs when they travel now, because they can represent this brand by just doing what we're doing today, jumping on a Zoom call and connecting worldwide. And for us, because when you charter new clubs, we can tell people who and what you are because of the brand. Next slide, please. When we have a cohesive brand with a clear message, we stand out from the competition as well. It shows all of our layers, shows how global we are and how connected we are. People get easily what we represent from the benefits of what Toastmasters bring to the table. While this is manifested very uniquely in each club, which we can see in these pictures, we have pictures from Spain to Singapore. It's our common core of Toastmasters that makes us strong. The fact that clubs have the same banner and sharing the same values is what makes Toastmasters Toastmasters. We need to keep that in mind when developing materials and products that we put together. We want to experience the same cohesive brand. I like to tell a story of an experience that my club faced at World Headquarters, the World Headquarters Club. I'm not kidding you. I did a call just like this that morning with my colleague, Alana, who used to be the brand specialist. She's no longer with the company. She moved on to take care of her baby. We had this great brand webinar all about the logos, the fonts, the colors. Me and the VPR at the time designed an open house flyer. She was so mad. We put Halloween goblins and ghosts on there. We made a spooky font. Everything she told us not to do, we did. And we are World Headquarters. We should know better. But I learned the hard way, and that's how we continued to move on. We now know that we have so many cohesive, amazing templates for you to use at World Headquarters. If you don't want to use what we have, I've seen what you guys put together. I saw what you put together for today's masterclass. You have the talent to create a vision that is so strong that unites our diversity and our brand. So thank you for that. Next slide, please. Brand compliance. We all know it's there. Some of us think it's beyond entertaining. Some of us would rather skim the pages and move on. But as I've mentioned on the last couple of slides, we know why it's important. This brand manual has everything you need to know and why trademarks are so important. I always ask that if you have a VPPR role or a higher role like a PRM in the district, you take some time to go through this brand manual. We are a nonprofit organization, as most of you know. We want to make sure that we do nothing to risk that status. And as mentioned, We just want to make sure that if we're out in public wearing Toastmasters, representing Toastmasters, we have the right message. We have so many different people you can contact at World Headquarters, from our legal and trademarks team to the marketing and brand specialists, where we can help you with brand compliance one-on-one and how to stay on track. Next slide, please. I know this is so much information just when it comes to brand. I could talk about the fonts, the colors, the style all day long. And as I mentioned before, I can tell you how I've completely messed up the brand guidelines, or how I've followed them from every font to every color. With that, we want you to know how the brand manual works, as I just mentioned, the brand portal, which has so many resources for you. I still go there. We're doing another open house for my club. That's where I go ahead and get some of the save the date flyers that our graphics team at World Headquarters makes. I also ask, if you have time or you need to put yourself to sleep, maybe read Policy 4.0 and Protocol 4.0 on the Toastmasters intellectual property. We also have an email inbox that is specific just to brand. It's at brand@toastmasters.org, and this will help you with every question you have. I'm going to go ahead and put all the emails at the end of this chat in the chat box so you can go ahead and see them, but just know you'll be able to get them. Okay, let's move on to brand to some social media. Everybody has such a great social media presence, and I'm so happy that everybody really tries. One thing I always recommend to both club leaders and district leaders when it comes to social is to make sure you have a business process before you even get too creative. We ask that you do this so you can gain control of the already established pages. I ask you to do an audit. What pages do you use? For Toastmasters World Headquarters, we like to use Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, our web pages. With social media, I know that it's growing daily and there's always new apps you can use. But with this, if you take a moment to understand exactly which apps you have and which apps work best for your club or district, that will really help. When you do an audit, make sure everything's up to date. Do you have your Zoom information on there, or do you want to refer an email address to give somebody the Zoom? Do you have the time of your meeting or the time of the district event correct? As I'm going to mention probably 5 more times on this call, is always stay consistent and stay compliant with the Toastmasters brand. Next slide, please. Just a little bit of social media explained from World Headquarters. Again, there's TikTok, there's Clubhouse, Snapchat, there's so many different channels. But we feel we have seen the best return of investment at World Headquarters is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's what I'm going to talk about today. But just a reminder, the world is your oyster. So go ahead and use what channels you think work best for your club or your district. I like to use Twitter just for some short little announcements. I used it a lot over the convention to announce what was going on. Facebook is a web page that keeps changing daily. There's constantly new upgrades and new ways to communicate with your audience. It's such a fun place to go ahead and post exciting pictures from a district or a club event, or just like we already talked about on this call, to advertise organically or free about an event you have coming up. It could be a club open house. It could be a district event like this, a masterclass. You can even create a designated event page on Facebook that has all the details, and people will go ahead and let you know if they're interested in it. Do you have a district or club Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn? How do you use them? We've seen great success in LinkedIn at World Headquarters. We feel like LinkedIn represents such a strong professional side of Toastmasters, how it can help you with your career, your public speaking, and your leadership skills. We really want to express how Toastmasters has improved your presence. Is it giving a work presentation in person or on Zoom where Toastmasters has helped you go from this quiet voice to a confident leadership voice? LinkedIn is such a great place because people are always looking to learn and improve. So go ahead and utilize LinkedIn on that channel. Instagram. Instagram to me is such a light, fun page, but this is where you can really highlight your club. How much fun does your club have? How much does your club learn? Post pictures. You can't link on the copy in Instagram, but you can go ahead and change links in your bio to direct people to maybe find a club if you're a district promoting to your district webpage, your club page. I don't know if your club uses Easy Speak, Free Toast Host, Google, but there's so many different ways you can link it. It's a fun place just to show, hey, look how great my club is. Don't you want to come? Don't you want to give your icebreaker in my club? Really showcase how great that is. YouTube. I know YouTube, Facebook, it's not allowed everywhere in the world, but YouTube is such a strong platform. After all, we're Toastmasters. Don't we have a story to tell? No matter if it is an informational webinar like this, or it is somebody's level 1 research where they really want somebody to understand what they're doing. Share that on YouTube. Let people understand what makes you Toastmasters and why people come. You can continue to get views. When we posted the World Championship of Public Speaking, so many people watch those videos who aren't Toastmasters, and it's because they themselves are fascinated by us, Toastmasters, and how we public speak. Next slide, please. Let's get social on social media. On tablets and computers, but there's such a way that we can still communicate. We have to find a way to do that. How? Well, engage with your audience on social media. What does that mean? Ask questions. Do you want to come to our club meeting? Are you looking to come to a fall club meeting? Ask. Use captivating, strong images. It doesn't matter if it's a maybe stock photo that you have a corporate account to, or it's just your amazing district or your amazing club. You can also share videos. Just like on YouTube, you can post videos on all the social media channels. Show followers an inside look at your club or your district. What makes your district or your club so strong? I can't imagine the work that you guys have put in to create all of these master classes. It shows how strong and determined your district is. Give your followers an inside look at what you do to create events like this. The followers will come because they will be so impressed. Be persistent. Yes, sometimes you don't want to just talk Toastmasters 5-6 days a week. Sometimes you want to talk about it 24/7. That's up to you. But being persistent on social media is key to growing your followers organically. How you do that is you post at least 3 to 5 times a week. Say you're just having a week where you're busy with family and friends and you don't know how you're going to do anything from Toastmasters. Take a minute and visit one of the World Headquarters pages, and all you have to do is click the share button from one of our posts that we post at least 5 days a week, and it'll land right on your club or your district page. Next slide, please. Wonderful. Some social media do's. There's so many don'ts nowadays in the world of social media where somebody will screen capture you. But let's talk about what you can do as a Toastmaster in a club or a district that can really make you you. Prompt discussion with maximum engagement. This is a great example of what's happening today. There's going to be a lot of questions that might come to members after the webinar. Yes, you can always email us, but maybe start that conversation on social media. What have you learned? What do you want to improve on? Does your club need help with social media? Start a conversation with your followers, and it'll really show how much engagement and encouragement you as a social channel can bring. Respond to feedback. Sometimes at World Headquarters, don't always receive the best feedback. People want to see their magazine in print again, or maybe somebody didn't like what we did something. For us, I'll simply reply, thank you so much for your feedback. I'm going to pass it along to the team. Behind the scenes, absolutely, we discuss it as a team. But you as a club or a district, You might be able to talk to them right then and there to help come up with a solution to what they found their problem with. I know so many times maybe a prospective member has contacted a club and they haven't heard from a club. We know this happens, and you are a strong club and a strong district who wants that prospective member. They might post on social media. Work with them to find a club right then and there on social media so people can see how strong you are on social media. Keep an eye out for what's trending. So many different things trend throughout the world, but you can find ways to relate it back to Toastmasters. Toastmasters is also mentioned so many times in little articles. You can go ahead and post those on your social channels. They might highlight a district, a club, or even Margaret Page, our international president. You can go ahead and share that on your social channels. Follow character limits. Don't worry, Twitter's the only one that will really cut you off for doing more than 280 characters. LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, they'll let you type all day long. But tell your story within those character limits, and people will love to know who you are and what you are. Understand hashtags. I think understanding hashtags is huge. I'm going to send you at the end of this presentation to some of my favorite sites with hashtags, but it helps you be found when people click hashtag Toastmasters, hashtag leadership, hashtag public speaking. One of my favorite is just hashtag tips. People are always looking to learn. Hashtag tips, you're going to go with all those other tips. And maybe they won't join or follow you right away, but if you continue to pop up there, they're going to be like, who are these people? Why do they know so much about public speaking and leadership? They're great. And they're going to go ahead and start following you and maybe continue their journey to learn more. I always recommend proofreading before posting. We've all done it. We've missed a comma, we've missed a period, or we've spelled a word wrong. It happens. Even some of the biggest organizations have done it. But just try and spend an extra moment reading it, or even reading it out loud to try and catch maybe that misspelled word. Next slide, please. Digital advertising. This is something we've been hearing a lot about at World Headquarters. This is something we've also done at World Headquarters over the last couple years. What is digital advertising, you might ask? It's another one that I could probably teach an 8-hour masterclass, but we don't want to spend 8 hours talking about digital advertising. Digital advertising is the process of publishing a paid material on one of your social channels. You're going to see it so many times, but you probably don't even know when you're scrolling through your favorite social media channel, you're going to see a sponsored post. That right there is a paid ad, possibly from your favorite sweater boutique, or from your favorite restaurant, or Toastmaster. You can do this on YouTube as a video. You can do this on your favorite search engine, and you can come up at the very top where it says ad. Why should you advertise digitally? You create brand awareness. You advertise to a very specific target audience. You're promoting Toastmasters and the brand, and you can generate leads. Next slide, please. Toastmasters has ran ads on both LinkedIn and Facebook. We have used different ads, different areas. We've gone all the way across the world. We've done Australia, we've done Asia, we've done Europe, and we've done the United States. It's because we really want to figure out what works best. We've seen great success on LinkedIn, which has over 240 members. We usually target to our persona of students, an early career enthusiast, the striving associate, and the social professional. You're probably wondering, where did those personas come from? I've never seen those on LinkedIn. For those of you who don't know, we have a very strong research team here at World Headquarters. They've spent a lot of time to figure out who wants to join Toastmasters. These are some of the 4 personas we found through those 7 personas that we can target on LinkedIn. You've never used LinkedIn for a paid campaign? Don't worry. We have a Toastmasters LinkedIn ad guide for you on our website that also includes images you can use and suggested copy. Next slide, please. We've also ran digital advertising ads on Facebook. As we all know, Facebook has billions of users. They also have exceptional targeting and up-to-date analytics. One thing I will say about Facebook is it's just a little warning, is they have a few more bots out there that will show that you have more clicks than you do. You're still going to see great success, but you might say, whoa, LinkedIn only gave me 200 clicks, but Facebook gave me 700. Some of those are usually just computer-generated bots by Facebook to make your ad go higher up in the algorithm, so you'll be seeing more. We also have a Toastmasters Facebook ad guide on our website, which has images for you, step-by-step guide, and suggested copy. It's really great for you to use. Next slide, please. Here are some of my resources, which again, I can give you at the end too. I love Instagram hashtags and best hashtags. One of my favorite things to do is you just type in a word and it'll give you hashtags that are related to that word. One of my favorite things that has happened is if you type in public speaking, hashtag Toastmasters shows up on those websites. I love seeing Toastmasters anywhere. I always suggest read up on social media. It changes daily. We can't keep up with it, but we can try our best by understanding it. It's so exciting to learn, and it's so exciting to promote the brand. I absolutely love Toastmasters, and I love learning. I love learning from you, and I love learning from all the thought leaders throughout the world. With that, I can't wait to see what you guys do with all of your PR and social media skills and brand designs. With that, I'm going to hand it back over as my presentation is done for now, but let's maybe do some questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kristi. That was definitely very illuminating and enlightening. I know a lot of questions that came to us during registrations. I think a few of them definitely got answered in the course of your presentation as well. I just want to give a quick shout out to our district director, distinguished Toastmaster Mukta Natkar, who is present in today's meeting. It's great to see you, Mukta. Would you just like to say a quick hi to Kristi?
Yes, hello, Kristi, and thank you so much. I joined just a couple of minutes late, but I've just been mesmerized by your presentation. I will have to go back to Smita to get a lot of clarifications because I'm not so savvy about it, but thank you so much. I'm sure everyone has enjoyed it and much appreciated. Back to you, Smita.
Oh, thank you so much. We're happy everybody could join.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Mukta. All right, with that, let's quickly move on to our next section where I think all of you are waiting with your bated breath about the questions that you posed. To facilitate the Q&A section, I am very glad to welcome one of our two social media managers at District 98, Toastmaster Furkan. Furkan has been a Toastmaster for a few years now. He was a student when he kickstarted his journey and has been absolutely fantastic being a part of the public relations team at District 98. Thank you so much, Furkan, and I will pass it on to you now.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smita. And this is an honor to, have this session hosted just for the people who are PRs and social media enthusiasts. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kristi, for a wonderful session today. And let's get on to the question and answer session, which will begin now. So, Toastmaster Kristi, starting with the branding questions. This is a question from Darshit from Diamond City Toastmasters. What would you say is the process to build a personal brand?
Being persistent and not giving up. It's very difficult at first because you might be starting with nothing or you might be starting with 1,000 followers. We see in the day of social media today, influencers across the world. And do you know how they become that person? They honestly, they don't give up. They post all day long on their, they choose first, you choose a social media channel first where you want this brand to be. Is it Instagram as a travel enthusiast or a fashion enthusiast? Is it LinkedIn, where you want to express how you are a strong career building thought leader? So then once you decide what you want your true message to be, being persistent is key. You decide, okay, I'm going to post 4 to 5 times a week. You go ahead and set time to do this. You also have to go and figure out what is trending in social media. Right now, it's TikTok, Instagram Reels, and these videos. That's what's going to build you up higher in the social media algorithm as well. Don't give up on yourself. Figure out what your message is. Take time to build your brand, create your brand, and just post like crazy, no matter if it's a Toastmasters brand or your own individual brand.
Very much agreed. Another question by John from District 91. Can our clubs apply for not-for-profit pro accounts in Canva? And is there any plan to have Toastmaster templates on Canva?
I saw this question in my email, and I have some great news for everybody. We are currently working on a nonprofit Canva pilot. Stay tuned. We're going to have details for you very soon. We're at our final stages of it, but we definitely want to spread the word and the skills of Canva. And especially, I've seen what districts can do. So we're this close. So stay tuned for those final details.
Perfect.
But World Headquarters, we've got your back on that. So we're going to get you guys there.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Another question by Sanjila from District 82. Can you please elaborate a bit on the piracy side of social media usage on branding?
Yes. So social media and privacy is a huge thing. First, I'm kind of go the legal side, which we did today, is just always make sure whoever is going to be on your social media, no matter if it's from a club event, you just go ahead and send out our wonderful video and photo release forms. That's first just going to do the individual and club protection. You can also, I think everybody has gotten used to this in the last year, is just to send out a reminder that, hi, this is going to be recorded today. If you don't want to be recorded, please remove your video, please remove your name. Just go ahead and cover the basics of what's going on. As far as the branding side, it kind of goes more to the trademarks of Toastmasters and the privacy there. Facebook, social media, they're the big tech of the world these days. They pretty much do own everything. And I always just tell people, be careful what you put out there, because if you try to take it away, it might just, somebody might screen grab it. Yeah, my dog is chewing a bone. Let me take the bone away.
Sure.
Sorry. Okay, I'm back.
So next question that we have, Jude from District 82. How to promote brand focusing on a specific country?
Yes. So brand number one, it's social media is my expertise. I've learned so much about brand in the last 4 years. This is where it has gotten a little complicated, is so many people have wanted to take the Toastmasters logo and maybe use their flag instead of the actual globe. We do ask again that you don't distort our logo, that you keep the Toastmasters logo, but you can still represent your country. You can list where you're from, you can list the cultural values, you can even use it maybe in a club or district theme. I've seen this happen before here in the United States, where we have the 4th of July. A lot of people have kind of followed brand and not putting a bunch of fireworks in red, white, and blue on the flyer, but instead staying consistent with our brand colors and listing open house to celebrate the United States of America 4th of July. Just find the right words you can use to express your country and your culture, and then the rest will follow.
Perfect. Question by Nayana from District 82. How do we manage corporate clubs and Toastmasters International requirements together in branding?
Yes, you know what? We actually have a corporate team here at World Headquarters, Corporate Relations. They are going to be able to help you best with that. I'll go ahead and put that email box in the chat. I would directly reach out to our corporate relations team. They've done so much to learn how to intertwine those corporate clubs together. And we're trying to promote even more corporate clubs throughout the world. And I think we're kind of figuring out how we can add maybe even an extra little bit in the brand resources with that. So I'll give you it right now. It's corporate relations at toastmasters.org. I'll put that in the chat box as well, but they'll really be able to walk you through how to use a corporate logo and the Toastmasters logo. I don't want to answer it wrong, so that's why I'm going to refer you there.
Indica is a non-Toastmaster. What are some low-cost options available to brand?
Let's see. We've got lots of available resources on our website in the resource library that you can use. You can also, hopefully, coming down the road with Canva, you'll be able to kind of modify those a little bit more with yours. My club here at World Headquarters, what we've started doing is, I think you said she's a non-member, but I'll talk as on a member side, is you express what your club is and how much your club or your district means to you. With that, you incorporate that in the Toastmasters brand. How many people have developed strong relationships from meeting people in their Toastmasters club that you might not have known before, that have become a true friend that you have grown together with? Find a way to express that in your club or district's promotional materials. You guys have all worked so hard to get where you are in your Toastmasters journey. Promote that, promote the relationships that have come from that, the leadership skills that you started as a brand new Toastmaster maybe 10 years ago. With that, you've climbed through all the leadership roles, you've gotten your DTM, and you've found a way to get to the district level. Promote that, promote the energy and the strength that has come from the relationships. And with that, you're still staying brand consistent, but you're showing the emotional side of Toastmasters, which also attracts people.
That's a nice idea. A question from Sweta from Rungta Toastmasters Club. It's a design question. Can transparency of color for elements be used only in gradients?
Yes, as of right now, yes. And I know that's not always the answer that we want to hear, especially I think a lot of people saw our very colorful convention marketing. So I have to talk as a World Headquarters employee. World Headquarters does have a little bit more leeway when it comes to these gradient colors, and that's because we are trying to promote an event like World Headquarters. Districts do have a little bit more leeway as well when it comes to the colors for events. We have a whole section on our brand manual about that. It's page 38 and 37 if anybody wants to look at that. But the real answer is yes, please stay consistent with our colors. And I know there's a lot of clubs out there who haven't, but we are trying to rein everybody in and staying with our true brand name.
I can hear that. So moving on to social media questions that we've recorded. Akshay from GSC Toastmasters Club asks how to get members to like, comment, share, and engage on posts. We've tried tagging them, but that doesn't help.
You know, we've experienced that here at World Headquarters as well, even on some of our channels that have over 200,000 followers. It goes back to engagement. And I've recommended a lot of times what is so powerful on social media can be either a question or a quote. And people really are attracted to that. Maybe start first with a question and simply ask the question. You don't even have to tag people, but once people start answering your questions, people will be like, oh my gosh, they're chiming in. I want to answer. I want to voice my opinion. So start with that. Once you start to maybe see more engagement, you can continue with that. I've lately, I promote a lot of Toastmaster magazine articles, and I found sometimes instead of just giving a summary of how to use vocal variety, maybe pull a quote from the article. Or I just recently posted an article that Margaret Page, International President, was featured in, and I used one of her quotes about how to debate and how Toastmasters helps you even become a better debater. Followers are more attracted sometimes to a statement or a question than a summary. They are also visually attracted to images. So maybe find a way to just attract them to that image, ask a question, And you can write in the comments as well. Whoever's the admin, go ahead and write in the comments and say, hey, did you happen to see this post? I think that I prefer, and go ahead and answer also as that. There's no problem in doing that. And hopefully people will chime in.
Inclusion.
The other advice, yeah, be persistent, be persistent. You're gonna see posts that have very high engagement. You're gonna see posts that have none. And it's just the way the world is. I wish I had a magic answer for everybody here, but just be persistent.
Makes sense. Abhijit from Infosys Toastmasters, Hyderabad. What are some best practices to socialize in any club for getting more members?
There's a lot of different ways, and I think you have to decide again what works best for your club and what kind of members you are looking for. If your club is completely online and either going to go hybrid in the future or stay online, you can definitely find a way to advertise throughout the world because people can join anywhere at any time that works best for them. If you're looking at going back in person, you might want to advertise locally. Social media is still a great place to do this. Every state, city, and country have different ways to advertise locally on social media, but you can kind of find that little niche and you can highlight when your club meets, where, and why your club meets. Why does your club meet? And who loves your club? And again, it goes back to experience. What makes Toastmasters Toastmasters? It's the connections and it's the skills and it's what you learn. And you can find a way to highlight that on social media, no matter if it's with what you type in the post or some of the images that you post. If your club or district has money or funds set aside for PR or marketing, you can also go ahead, review those funds and decide you might want to target a very local audience in your city on social media and create a campaign to do that. I will put my email in the chat box after that, but if you ever want to talk through some advertising campaigns with me before you go ahead and use your funds, I'm always open to do that to make sure that before you spend your money, you understand who, what, where, and why you want to do with those funds.
Yeah, we got to be careful around that, especially.
Yeah.
Question from, forgive me for pronouncing it wrong. Ping Chan asks, how effective are the story features on social media?
Can you repeat that one more time?
How effective are the story features on social media?
Oh, yes, the story. I love Instagram stories. I keep catching my ums and ahs when I'm on a Toastmaster call. So excuse me for that. I prefer Instagram stories over Facebook and LinkedIn. What is so great about Instagram and Facebook, for those of you who do not know, they are the same company. So you can put an Instagram story and merge it to your Facebook or vice versa. One of the problems with Instagram stories is you have to have over 10,000 followers to have what used to be called a swipe up. So you can swipe up to a link. Instagram just changed it where now it's a link sticker. So you click on the link. You have to have X amount of followers to do that. In the meantime, if you don't have those followers, which a lot of us don't, I think Instagram stories are a great place to get very personal. Same with Facebook stories. That's where you can go ahead and have that 24-hour image of a powerful club meeting. Maybe it's a snippet of somebody's speech. Make sure that person authorizes you for putting it on social media. But maybe somebody gave an icebreaker that was really personal and really powerful, and they're okay with you sharing that on social media. That's a great place to do a story. That way it's not on your page forever, and their personal moment is only there for 24 hours, but you can share it on both Facebook and Instagram. With LinkedIn, I think some of the great story values are once again showing their professional side. Again, you can do images of thanks to Toastmasters, I just got a promotion, or thanks to Toastmasters.
Did we lose Kristi?
I think she may have just dropped. Abbas, can you confirm if she's still there?
Yeah, so what Kristi was trying to express is that story features are very efficient for people who can get personal with followers. Because when you have story features, it is when people are more likely to get hooked onto what you have and what you present, and especially pieces of content that you want your people to get engaged with. So Kristi is back again. And yeah, if you want to complete your answer, you're on mute, Kristi.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I was just, again, saying 24 hours in a story is a great place just to put maybe something a little more personal or even a little more powerful that you want just to be there. The analytics on stories are very fun as well because you can see who viewed that story, which is always very fun. And maybe you can kind of create a target audience once you review those analytics and see who is viewing those stories.
Perfect. A question by Hideo from District 76. How valid do you think search engine optimization is?
I think it's very valuable. I think Toastmasters can own search engine optimization. And because of this, it's because I think we have a very small niche. We are Toastmasters. We have such strength in leadership building skills and public speaking building skills. We're not trying to sell sweaters or dresses or, an event that we have to compete with these other people. Search engine optimization is always changing, but it's always a very high level experience. I went to a SEO, so that's the abbreviation for it, a masterclass a couple of years ago, and this analogy still is in place that I love. And it's, let's say you are selling soccer. Soccer is your website. You don't want your website to just say soccer is great. I play soccer. I'm on soccer. You almost want to do the org chart of what is soccer. Soccer is soccer. It's a team. It's a jersey. It's cleats. It's a field. It's the players. It's the uniform. So you kind of make that org chart of what goes into Toastmasters. And you can either start at the top and build down or vice versa. And those are going to be your rich quality words that you want to make sure that you have in your website, no matter if it's a club, district, or blog. You don't want to just mention Toastmasters 100 times or public speaking. If you want to focus on public speaking for your club, that's where you can pull the vocal variety, the clarity, speech skills. Is it speed? Is it strength, vocabulary? So you want to think, what are those rich content words that go with Toastmasters and what Toastmasters is?
All right. Question from Arnold Fernandez from Sri Lanka. Kristi, what are your top bets on how social media platforms will look like 10 years from now for customer engagement?
Oh my gosh, let's see. I have too many dreams for that where I think I could go on forever. And I even talk to the managers and directors above me. To be honest, money, you want to have more money to have the most powerful money and time, right? Isn't that everybody professionally and personally? I would love to fully develop some kind of video brand for Toastmasters International where we highlight our skills across the globe. We show every culture and every country that we have and what Toastmasters has done for them. We have tried the Toastmasters testimonials, but I really want to get into the story of the member who was so terrified of their first role that they were convulsively shaking to the member who now has her DTM because of that. I want that journey expressed. And I think there's such a way to tell that. Again, after all, we're all Toastmasters. We've found a way to write a speech. We have the story in our head. I just think that is my ultimate goal. Maybe it can be done before 10 years. I don't even know what social media is going to look like in 10 years. I think it's going to just be too crazy for me to even wrap my head around. Again, it's our stories. And I know I keep saying that, but we all have such great stories. And what I tell people who I try to get to my club, you don't have to be personal in your Toastmasters club. You can talk about your favorite color pink all day, every day, or you can talk about your trauma. You can talk about your goals. That's what makes Toastmasters a safe place, is you as a member, it's yours. you make it what you want to be, and you develop these relationships around you. And I think if we can find a way to convey that message as clubs, districts, and world headquarters, we're going to see engagement, and we're going to see new members, and we're just really going to get the Toastmasters, not message, but the Toastmasters experience and journey out there.
Makes a lot of sense. Question by Pankaj from Toastmasters Club of All Scripts, Pune. How to build a profile in social and professional media in LinkedIn that is conducive to career for global reach and growth?
You guys have some big questions. Very good. If again, we're talking Toastmasters Club or Toastmasters District, you want to have your you need a profile page to create your business page. And your business page is either going to be your club or your district. Back in the day, LinkedIn let you kind of be sneaky and use, Vice President Public Relations Toastmasters Club as your name. They are getting more strict, just like Facebook, where on that profile page, they're now going to want it to be a true name like Kristi Yablonski instead of digital marketing specialist. If we want to talk about highlighting the professionalism of the club on LinkedIn, I kind of always refer people to go from your personal page, no matter if it is a Kristi Yablonski or it's a VPPR page, over to that club page. So the Toastmasters International Club page, we really try to focus on the strength of Toastmasters in career building. I have not done this at World Headquarters, but I've seen other districts do this, where they did a whole campaign based on thank you Toastmasters. And it was simply, thank you Toastmasters for giving me the confidence to talk to my boss. Thank you Toastmasters for helping me get the promotion. Thank you Toastmasters for helping me understand to give a presentation. And with that, you're talking to the professional audience on LinkedIn, and you can talk as a club or district about what Toastmasters has done for you or your club in a professional setting.
Right. A question from Udit from TYHOSTA Pokhani Toastmasters Club. How useful is a YouTube/Twitter account for a Toastmaster that is club specific, YouTube or Twitter?
I think it goes back again, Toastmasters and being club specific, find the club that you love. And if you are VPR or you just want to promote the club, talk about, again, it's what Toastmasters is and what your club does. There are so many different clubs out there. There's advanced clubs, there's beginner clubs, there's clubs that get DCP points right away, and there's clubs who need a mentor. We've seen it all from the World Headquarters side, and I know you've seen it all as a member side. This is a great place on social media to talk about those pros and cons. There might be a week where you have had to ask every single member 3 times to fill a role. And there might be a week where you fill up the roles immediately after the meeting. Find a way on social media to communicate with either your club members or your audience about the pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses of your club, why you're a real club, why a prospective member should join your club, and what makes your club so special. Because deep down, I think most of you on this call, I hope you do think your clubs are pretty special and your fellow members are special, because you've learned together, you've struggled together, and you have definitely succeeded together. And if you're comfortable with it, you can show that on social media.
Right. Can we use QR codes or word art in our posters, especially if we are using brand compliant colors?
If you're compliant, absolutely.
So
my biggest advice is, as long as you follow our core values and our brand compliance, go for it.
What thoughts do you have on word art when you're using typography to give a shape?
I think technically you have to not fully use them, but what I would do is I would just email our brand@toastmasters.org and they can help you with the word art.
Makes sense. One question that I have from my end is it important to brand your whole video when you're posting it on social media involving disclaimers and credits?
Disclaimers, yes, absolutely. And if you're posting on YouTube, you can also put the disclaimer in the description of the video. Toastmasters World Headquarters, most of our videos are just branded in the beginning and the end. So we always have an intro where convention kind of has the same sound and logo. All of our other videos just start with the True Toastmasters logo, and they end with a call to action, even though it's a video, but we kind of want to put that www.toastmasters.org in their face. So if you think about it like this, start and end your video with the Toastmasters brand. In the middle, have your message. It's like the book.
So do you recommend
the front, the cover, and the back to be Toastmasters? Yeah.
So do you recommend the same for short videos like Instagram Reels and TikToks?
I wouldn't worry about as much for the Instagram videos, just because you're going to post it on your page that's already branded. It's going to be your longer YouTube videos. If it's just going to be a quick snippet, go for it. Just make sure that your TikTok and your Instagram club page or district page is branded with Toastmasters, so they know they're on your page.
A bit of confusion around this. What if we are using a music from the Instagram library, which can be a copyrighted one?
Yeah. Copyrights are hard with music. And so what's weird even for me on Instagram, I wish I had more answer. My personal Instagram has more music available to me than the corporate Toastmasters. And I think it's because I have a lot more followers. So copyright is a lot stricted. YouTube also does the same thing. They have very, very high strict copyrights. They now do a full scan on all YouTube videos to make sure there's no copyright infringements. I don't have a solid answer for you, unfortunately, because I don't understand the music trademarks. I just know they're strict. I would always just look for something that you can relate to. If they don't have it, don't push it by adding it on your own.
Right, makes sense. So that was my last question, and here is the end of the Q&A session. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kristi, for being responsive to these and giving really insightful session earlier and half an hour ago. Thank you so much. I pass it back to the PR manager, Smita Mishra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Furkan. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kristi, for your valuable insights and for answering all the barrage of questions. But I always feel when we have an event like this and everybody learns from all these questions and answers, and it is even more valuable because the answers are coming directly from Toastmasters World Headquarters. So we don't have to double guess or make our own interpretation of any of these answers. We know that these are what we will get as responses, even if we do reach out separately to you. We are now almost at the end, and I take great happiness in extending a heartfelt gratitude towards not just Kristi, who has taken some amazing time out of her schedule today on a Saturday morning all the way from US, but everybody else as well who has joined us. Udit, I see your hand raised, but once we formally close the meeting, we'll open it up for networking, and then maybe we can just engage in a few more minutes of hellos and highs and any other questions that we might have missed. I do extend another big round and big gratitude to everybody who was on the organizing team today. We had Toastmaster Furkan, we had our district administrative manager, DTM Abbas, we have our area director, Toastmaster Manasa, and we have the PR manager from Division A, Toastmaster Tosif. Thank you all so much for being part of today's event and contributing and ensuring that we have a smooth and seamless experience. We will open the chat in just a moment so that Kristi can also share the resources and the links that she was mentioning so that everybody has all the details here. And of course, this meeting is being recorded. It will be available on our YouTube channel. I'm just quickly going to take one moment to show some of the presence of the district websites and sites. You can already see the live, which is there on the screen. This is our district page. You can just go and type TI District 98. There is a closed group, District 98 Toastmasters. If you're a member, you please join in and join the conversation. We are on Instagram, and there is some interesting content on there as well. There is an ongoing Reels challenge of sort. So please feel free to drop in a quick 30-second video if you're interested to do so. We are on LinkedIn as well. So just be part of the conversation and of the movement. This is another initiative that District 98 does, which is the Humans of D98, which is stories about our Toastmaster members and what all they have achieved in their life. Stories of triumph, of happiness, of courage and grit, and of course, of how Toastmasters has changed their life. Our YouTube channel is up to date with everything that we are conducting. You can already see a playlist for the masterclass that you're witnessing right now, and new editions will get added there. And of course, last but not the least, Toastmasters website. This is something that you should use for all things related to your brand related questions. There is a brand portal under Leadership Center where you can just go in, pop in, and all the things that Kristi also spoke about is available right here. With that, I wish all of you a great rest of the weekend. Thank you once again for joining and for being such a wonderful audience. This is DTM Smitha, District PR Manager for District 98, signing off. Good evening, good morning, good day to the rest of you. Thank you.